Hey guys, what's up and welcome to my channel. My name's Chris. Today we're gonna start off at Tractor Supply, seeing if we can find the new 90-tooth GearWrench ratchet. If we can find one, we're gonna head back home. We're gonna stress test it compared to the 84-tooth GearWrench ratchet, see if there's any differences between them. So let's head on inside, see if we can find that GearWrench ratchet. If you like tools, tool testing, and stress testing, you're gonna like this video. So let's head on inside and find that tool. So it looks like we were able to find a 1/2-inch drive, but we were in search of the 3/8-inch drive. So let's head on over to another Tractor Supply and see if we can find that GearWrench ratchet. Here they're in stock here. We're gonna head back to the house after that. We're gonna put that thing to the test and see if GearWrench claims that it meets and exceeds ASME specs. We're gonna find out, so let's head on inside, purchase that GearWrench 90-tooth ratchet, and see how it performs. So for roughly $26.99 before tax, we were able to pick up that new GearWrench 90-tooth ratchet. You can see that this is part number 81211T. And this, we're gonna actually use our Crescent branded snipping tool. Go ahead and unpackage this. Pretty easy to get out. And then we're gonna compare that to the 84-tooth GearWrench ratchet. And you can see these side by side are extremely similar. You can see that they changed their logo up top here, as well as you can see the selector switch is nearly identical. They stamped the pattern back there just a little bit differently. Still uses a retention clip, and you can see they milled out the bottom just a little bit differently. We'll open these up a little bit later, but we need to get to testing these. Before we do that, let's just pull in that GearWrench 120 XP, and as a reminder, the head on that is slightly thicker than both the 84 tooth and the new 90 tooth, and as you can see, that is slimmer, but that doesn't mean it's going to be stronger or actually work any better. But I did use this a little bit, and I can tell you that it is rather decent. Feels pretty much just like, actually, it nearly feels identical to the 84 tooth. Not really that big of a difference here. Let's really get to testing these and see how much torque we can apply on these and bring them to failure. So now we recently did just get our rad torque system smart socket back from Torque Tools Inc. They said this thing was calibrated, really tight tolerances. This will get you less than 0.5% of discrepancy when it comes to looking at a NIST traceable machine, and in all actuality, this device can be used as a calibration tool because it's just so darn accurate. But during that shipment process, we just want to make sure that everything is on the up and up. So we are going to put in our 1 inch to 3/4, 3/4 to 1/2 inch, as we're going to put the Quinn digital torque adapter in line. That way we can, again, audit just how some of our torque is, in the 75 foot-pounds for doing things by hand, and then getting up to ASME spec at 150 foot-pounds. So first we're gonna test out the 84-tooth GearWrench, and we're gonna go ahead and see as well when we do this, we're gonna be auditing to see how that smart socket is compared to the Quinn digital torque adapter. There you can see we hit 75.1 foot-pounds on that Quinn digital torque adapter, as well as 75 foot-pounds on the rad smart socket. So here you can see they're very accurate. Everything is really nice and tight on there, and we really like to see consistency. So if you need a tool like this, that Quinn digital torque adapter, that is really handy to calibrate your torque devices because it's pretty darn accurate and it's rather inexpensive. So we'll go ahead and test out the 90-tooth GearWrench ratchet here, And you can see we are dialed in at 79.9 foot-pounds on the Quinn Digital Torque Adapter, as well as 80 foot-pounds on that Rad Smart Socket. So really great job on the tolerances with that, as well as, you know, Harbor Freight giving it to you for really good accuracy on there. So Torque Tools Inc., really great job on getting the calibration dialed in on that. So, you know, again, there is a little discrepancy in some movement there, and of course that does allow for some torque loss. Now we'll go ahead and test this one more time by hand. And really, if you guys are putting over 125 foot-pounds on one of these ratchets by hand, that's a ton. You can see 106 and 105.4. Then we'll go ahead and test the 84 tooth one more time here. There we go, right at 100 foot-pounds and 101.3. So really nice and accurate when we look at those. And as you can see, 84 tooth gear wrench, as well as the 90 tooth sound very nice and smooth and appear to have no issues. So we're gonna go ahead and step these up to 150 foot-pounds, which is our ASME spec. The Quinn Digital Torque Adapter will start alerting a little bit before there, and we'll go ahead and see what these do at 150 foot-pounds. All right, so we were able to hit 160 foot-pounds and 160.9. So again, when everything's really consistent, a nice uniform pull, you can see very accurate when it comes to numbers. Sounds really nice and smooth in there, no issues. Definitely no lockups. You know, that's really one of the things that we're gonna start looking for when it comes to working with these ratchets is, are there any lockups? And we didn't see any. So now here we have the 84 tooth gear wrench ratchet. Again, still no issues with locking up. We're gonna go ahead and take this to ASME spec and see how this performs. So again, we'll get audible alert when it gets closer. And there we go. We are hitting 152.2 foot-pounds and 151. So we can see that these still work. Definitely didn't slip or lock up. So both the GearWrench 84 tooth and 90 tooth are able to meet and exceed ASME specs. And you know, for what it's worth, they're both pretty decent, assuming you can catch these on a deal. You know, it's gonna be up to you whether you wanna upgrade to something like this, but I can tell you they do have a ton of different ratchets when it comes to the 1/4 inch. I believe they have 8. When it comes to 3/8, they have about 13. And then 1/2 inch drive, they're gonna have about 8 or 10 or so as well. So you're gonna get anything from the stubby to the standard, to the long, to the flex head, to the locking flex head. And they're even gonna have a couple coming up here that are gonna be compact heads where the head size is actually reduced by about 20 to 25%. But let's go ahead and set up and we will take these to failure. We're gonna have to remove the Quinn Digital Torque Adapter, and then we're gonna see which one at the end of the day is truly stronger, the GearWrench 84 tooth or the GearWrench 90 tooth. And we do need to go charge our mic because we are about ready to lose audio here. And you know what? We got to go torture test these ratchets and see just how strong they are and see if they make the list for some of the top 10 strongest ratchets. So last chance to get your guesses in to see what you think the 84 tooth GearWrench ratchet will perform at as far as the max torque before it fails. So now let's go ahead and test this one out, see how it performs. GearWrench 84 tooth ratchet going to failure. So the 84 tooth GearWrench ratchet failed at 269 foot-pounds, which is quite a bit of torque. We'll see if the 90 tooth GearWrench is able to beat out the 84 tooth. So let's set it up and see how it works. So here we have the 90-tooth ratchet. We're going to go ahead and take this one to failure and see how the 90-tooth GearWrench ratchet performs. So here we can see the GearWrench 90-tooth ratchet performed at 268 foot-pounds, which is nearly identical to the 90-tooth ratchet. And one thing somebody's going to ask if I don't check it is the internals on the 90-tooth interchangeable with the 84. Well, that's coming in at 21.93, and the 84 tooth is coming in at 22.1, so slightly larger, but not by much. And let's see if we could put that in there. It actually would go in and drop in. Because that pawl design is slightly different, the angle on the walls is different as well. I would say that while you can fit it in there, I probably wouldn't rock and roll with a drop in of a new gear and a pawl to upgrade. That's just my 2 cents on it. So what are my final thoughts when it comes to looking at the GearWrench 84 tooth and the 90 tooth ratchets? Well, I can tell you we had nice clean anvil shears on there, and really there's not a lot of difference between the two. So while they are going to be phasing out that 84 tooth, the 90 tooth one is very comparable. The manufacturing really seems like they have that down, really consistent results with those. And we've done other testing on a lot of tools, so we'll go ahead and put these in on the graph. It'll be on screen, and you can see exactly how these perform, as well as the price to dollar ratio. We're just going to assume that the 84 tooth and the 90 tooth are $26.99. You can adjust the price how you see fit, because if you were to try to get this on Amazon, they're both actually more expensive than $30. And you could buy them in a set of 3, which would bring the price down substantially. But all met and exceeded the ASME spec of 150, which is 150 foot-pounds of ridiculous amount of torque. And for such a rather short tool, that's a ridiculous amount of torque. By hand, you can see that it's really difficult to put on over 125 foot-pounds. You can get some leg force in there and really yank on these that might get it around 150 foot-pounds, but you're really going to have to be having that extended length or long handle ratchet. Now, we've done a lot of other tool testing where, the Snap-on did very well at 292 foot-pounds. The Tecton also came in at 292 foot-pounds. So those are some great tools that offer a great value. But you can see the GearWrench tools do come in relatively value priced, and it has to come down to warranty and availability to you. I know Advanced Auto doesn't typically carry GearWrench products anymore. They're rebranded as their Tech Correct. And you know what? I was able to pick these up at Tractor Supply, which really, really is beneficial to me. And they also have some cool deals every now and then. We did a video about some of the cool deals at Tractor Supply. They'll be up above in the cards, as well as down below in the description. And the other ratchet torture tests will be again in the cards, as well as down below in the description. Now, if you are not already a subscriber to the channel, please consider doing so. That way you don't miss out on future upcoming videos like the Hazet, where we're going to torture test that against, where is it? The Cyclops. That's going to be a good showdown that you don't want to miss out on. AutoZone. You know what? That's a 90 tooth. We want to test that one and see how that Titan Tools performs. We still got to do the ultra fine 160 tooth Cobra Steelman Pro. And then we've also got the Capri. That's going to be pretty neat to see. And the Motive X Tools round head. And that one's 144 positions, and that's a really fine, smooth ratchet. Oh yeah, check those out. We got the Spud ratchets. This one got like a hammer on it. This has got a nail puller. Not sure how we're going to fully test those, but you can see that we not only have 3/8, we have 1/2 inch drive on there. Really excited for that, guys. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Comment down below what maybe your favorite ratchet brand is, or what you expected or thought of how the GearWrench tools performed. And as always, guys, work smarter, not harder, and we'll catch you in the next video. Just a friendly reminder, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.